Hello, and welcome to The Poor Generation, the show that inspires the present and future generations to take a deeper look at their lives to see how their gifts and passions can be used to pour back into the world around them. I'm your host, Alex Pasley, and in today's episode, we will talk about intentional living, and we will discuss the ins and outs of finding your why and creating intentional habits. If you are new to the podcast or tuning back in, I would like to thank you so much for stopping by. If you are enjoying the podcast, please do me a huge favor and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. The reviews help this podcast to grow, and it helps to reach new listeners. Guys, I am so glad to be back. Happy New Year, and welcome back to The Poor Generation. I hope you had a blessed and relaxing holiday season with your loved ones. I am so excited to build off the progress and the growth that we made in 2022. It has been such an amazing ride so far, and the feedback from the listeners has been incredible. It's got me fired up, and I am ready to go. I am so ready to pour back into y'all, and I can't wait for y'all to experience the conversations and the topics that I have for you this year. I know you will be able to pull wisdom, hope, and guidance from each and every episode. For me, over the holiday season, I spent time with family, and I had time to reflect and to think about 2023 for the poor generation. And while I was thinking, the thought of what is my why and what are my intentions for the new year kept reappearing in my mind while I was journaling and reading and having my quiet time. And for me, I think a lot of people often think about, what is my why? You know, I'm constantly hearing and seeing new year, new me. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the energy and the positive outlook. But let me tell you something. If our intentions and habits are the same as last year, you can expect the same outcome, buddy. You know, the real question is, are the habits you are bringing into 2023 good? Because if they're not good, I think it is so important that we focus our intentions on creating positive habits in the new year so that we can actually see the results we are looking for. For me, I picked up golfing last year, and it has been such a fun ride, but it's also a very humbling sport. But in order for me to become a better golfer, my intentions are to go to the range at least once or twice a month, because the only way I can get better is by practicing and forming good golf habits. You know, maybe some of y'all are feeling stuck or overwhelmed by the thought of trying to figure out your why, and you're saying, oh, great, Alex, here's another task to add to my list. No, calm down. Don't be stressed. I believe that we all have a season where we're trying to figure out our why. So this is totally normal. Do not stress yourself out. I'm here to help you. And I want to break this down into bite sizes so that you can take bits and pieces from this episode and apply them to your life journey. Think about your why like this. Your why is like your mission statement. It allows you to remember why you are doing something. It is a vision of your life and work. It can possibly be the thread of your career story, and it can also be your core source of motivation. People often say your why is tied to your purpose. See, your purpose isn't about you. It's about blessing and serving people and serving the people in your community. So if you have no idea what your why is right now, that is okay. You may be feeling anxious or unfulfilled. And it's easy to become overwhelmed when you're living a life without any direction. You know, for me, if I'm being honest, I thought I was living the American dream with air quotations. You know, I went to college, got my college degree, I graduated, I got the job that I wanted, and then I moved out and I started having bills. And for me, I was working on paying my student loans back. And for me, I just felt not fulfilled, but also I didn't feel like I had a why. I was just going through the motions. And for me as a believer, I don't believe we're put on the earth just to go through the motions. I believe God has placed us here and called us to do amazing things, whatever that may look like. I'm not God, so I can't tell you what that is, but I do believe wholeheartedly that God placed us on this earth for a reason, to do amazing things and to make people better, and to make the places and the spaces we are at better, and to help us to serve and to have a sense of community. And I say all that to say that money should not be the goal, but the result of your career directed by your why. Discovering your why takes time and is not something you are going to discover in a day. You can't have the microwave effect with this task. I am sorry. But the plan that God or the Holy Spirit or that gut is giving you is only meant for you. And that's the beautiful thing. You can only do that one thing or those certain things the only way that you can do them. And that's a beautiful thing when you acknowledge that you have special gifts and talents. So getting back to your why, I believe it's a journey. And through that journey, I believe God and the Holy Spirit, or maybe your gut and your thoughts and your passions, will reveal to you what your why is. So the next step is to take time each day to be more self-aware by journaling your thoughts and interests, and really taking time to see what is on your mind constantly. Is it fashion? Is it music? Is it art? Is it film? Really think about what inspires you or makes you come alive. See, everyone's why is hidden at first, but we all have the ability to find our why. And I truly believe that. You know, the most common areas of your life to start looking are your values, your motivations, and your passions. See, your values are your personal standards you live by each and every day. They are your core beliefs that guide your behaviors, actions, and your interactions with this world. Your motivations is what gets you excited to work, and it's what gets you going in the morning. They are actions you enjoy and make you feel alive and satisfied. Your passions are your interests that constantly leave you wanting more and more. You are constantly thinking about them, and they are things or activities that bring you joy. See, as a believer, my constant why is to spread the gospel and love others as if they were my brother or sister. My second why is my passion for life purpose and having conversations through this podcast to encourage all of you. Maybe your why is wanting to get healthy to avoid future health issues, or maybe your why is healing from trauma and breaking generational cycles. If that is you, I think that is amazing, and I am rooting for you. When you figure out your why, reach out to me on Instagram. I would love to hear about your stories and your discoveries. So I have a couple questions I want you to think about this month. Question 1, what motivates you to get up and get out of bed in the mornings? Question 2, what makes you come alive? What are those passions and values? Take as much time as you need to discover your why. Because once you figured that out, the next step is to set your intentions to walk in that path that was created for only you. See, your intentions are very important because intentions are purposeful actions that help direct us towards the path we are aiming at. They guide our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. So if you consider that your life purpose is who you are at your core, then any intentions can help you discover who you are meant to be and show you how you can serve in this world. See, I want to be intentional with the podcast to create content that challenges and inspires people to really think about their life purpose and figure out what they were made to do. I want to be intentional by saving and finding more ways to give back into my community. It is necessary to set your intentions to live out your why. Sometimes you may have to be intentional in saying no to things that may delay or sidetrack you. And that's totally fine. And I know this is something that some people may not want to hear, but it's true. There are going to be seasons of life when you have to say no. I think it's so important that we put value in our no's, because sometimes we can delay our own blessings by saying yes to something that will stress us out and distract us from what we really need to put time and effort into. Man, I know that may hurt some people's feelings, but it's true. There are going to be seasons of life when we have to say no. I think it's so important that we put value on our no's. We have to learn that, because learning to say no in the right season will lead to the following: having more say in how our life looks. Man, that sounds good. It will also lead to having more time for what matters. Man, that is so important. Time is everything. It will also lead to having less stress. Come on, man. Come on. If you're not getting excited about it, I am. It will lead to having confidence in your own decisions. See, learning to say no is hard and something that I'm constantly working on. I'm not going to lie, but it has helped me to stay focused and to be intentional about my priorities. Understanding your why and setting your intentions will help keep you from spending time and energy on things that might get you off course. Come on, man. We are starting the new year off with a bang. I'm excited about this because for me, it's something that I had to learn, and it's something that I've seen through some of my friends and family, is learning to say no. It's not saying that you're a bad person or that we don't want to hang out with you or we don't want to do that. No, in certain seasons, we have to say no. So I think that's so valuable to learn, and something that we all need to practice in 2023. In closing, there's one more thing that I want to leave you with. I don't want these words stopping you from finding your purpose in 2023, because whether or not you realize it, your tongue and your mind are so powerful. And I want you to remember that if someone tries to tell you that you're not worthy, or you're not smart, or you are not brave, or you're not loved, or you're not lovable, or you're not enough, that's not true, because you are all the above. You are worthy. You are smart. You are brave, and you are loved. And yes, you are enough. If you're not feeling love right now, I really hate that for you, and I want that to change. And I want you to realize that there is a God out there that loves you just the way you are, and you are enough. Before we close, there are 3 key takeaways I want to leave you with today. Takeaway 1, your purpose isn't about you. It's about blessing and serving people and serving the people in your community. Takeaway 2, money should not be the goal, but the result of a career directed by your why. Takeaway 3, intentions are purposeful actions that help direct us towards the path we are aiming at. They got our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. In closing, I want to share some helpful resources. Guys, you know me, there are 3 things that are important: a therapist, small group, and community. I believe having a therapist is so important because your mental health is important. If you're dealing with something, please go get the help that you need. And a small group is so important because we can't do life alone. We need positive people in our life. Community is important because we need to invest and pour back into our communities so that we can make them a better place. If you are still listening, I want to give you a huge thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in today's episode. Please follow us on Instagram, The Poor Generation. And please do me a huge favor and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. The reviews help the podcast to grow, and it helps to reach new listeners. I would love to hear about your life stories, and if you have any questions or book recommendations, please reach out to me. My email address is in the podcast descriptions on all platforms. Guys, what we did last year still amazes me. I feel like I'm dreaming, just hearing the stories and the feedback about what you're doing in the communities and how you're using your gifts and talents to pour back into this world is so amazing. We are building a community, a team, a family that is going to pour back in not only this generation, but generations to come. We are doing something so special, and it's only going to get bigger and better. I just want to end the show by saying I am so incredibly thankful for each and every one of you. I love you, and this isn't possible without you, the listeners. So thank you so much for your support. I want you to know that you are loved and that you do have a purpose. You do have unique gifts and talents to offer this world. And also, you are worthy. You are smart. You are brave. You are loved. And you are enough. I love you, and I will see you in the next episode.